Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to another episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It's match day review showtime. And myself, Ava, Stocky and Boz coming back from the Priestfield after a 1-1 draw with Swindon Town, our dear friends. Stocky, come to you first. Draw was probably a fair result.
Yeah, I'd say so. There weren't many chances in the game itself. On the match day live, said at half time, we hadn't really offered much other than the Nevitt chance, which in my opinion he should have slotted either side of the keeper. Second half, other than the goals from either side, I can't really recall either keeper having to do anything or any kind of real goal mouth action to talk about, to be honest.
No, I can't recall either keeper making a proper save, to be quite honest. Boz, just come to you quickly. If we go all the way back to 2 o'clock, team news came out. There was only one change from the game against Wimbledon on Easter Monday. That was Elliot Nevitt came back in the side to lead the line. We know you weren't there on Monday, but did you feel that was perhaps a little bit harsh on Joe Gbode, given that he'd come off the bench and won us the football match last week?
Yeah, well, you almost hit again today, didn't you?
Yeah, he did, yeah. We'll get to him in a minute in more detail.
Yeah, you just feel frustrated because he just spends a lot of time chasing down, which is what fans want to see. But then we get the ball back and we slump it over and go straight to their keepers. He must be very frustrated.
Yeah, and he had that chance, didn't he, which we've all spoken about in the first couple of minutes. And to be fair, we started the game really well. We pinned them back really quickly, but as Stocky's alluded to, I don't know why he's gone for power. I think if he just
You said at the time, didn't you? If he just puts it either side.
Yeah, he's just got to put it in the corner, and even if he scuffs it, it probably goes in. But he gives Ripley a chance by bashing it straight above his head, and Ripley, to be fair, makes it decent enough.
There's one in the second half actually, Ripley saved the only shot we forgot about.
Oh yes, the one that did a few bits. Yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah, so it's
Yeah, it definitely has an end of season feel to it, didn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
Until the end, when it got quite lively.
Yeah, then it all kicked off, and there was a few individuals today, Stocky, that ended up doing stuff that they're not familiar with, I think is fair to say. Tom Nichols turned into some sort of deep lying midfield enforcer for there, was going through people and rattling through people at a rate of knots before he hurt himself making one tackle too many. Johnny Williams has ended up with a red card, correctly so, I think, for 2 yellows, and we'll talk about Joe Gbode's goal in a little while, but unfortunately he's going to learn the hard way from that performance, because he'd already been booked. Whether the decision for the first yellow's right or wrong, you then can't go having a cuddle, we'll call it, with the centre half.
I didn't even see Williams get sent off because I was following what was happening with Joe, because I picked up on it straight away. And for me, I think he's lucky not to have got a straight red, which would have been a free game ban because it's violent conduct.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose it's unfortunate that he got the first yellow that probably wasn't deserved, but then again, I think he could have got. I think it should have been 2 reds, to be honest. One for Joe and one for
their fella,
well, yeah.
The only thing that the referee's done well is that he's given the same punishment for either side, but
I also don't think he's seen any of it as well, because
I think he was watching Williams.
yeah, well the thing is he was like everyone following the ball, so it was only been the linesman that would have potentially have seen it, but then
or his guest, which
Well,
either way isn't the best way.
I think in a way none of them have seen it, and that's why they've got 2 yellows, because
it's almost like we've got to do something, but
Yeah.
we don't know if we've seen enough to actually give 2 straight red cards.
Yeah, so I think that's why they've gone with the 2 yellows, because it's that aggressive attitude from both. So, but yeah, like you say, it was Joe's second. So,
But of course, we've not got the benefit of any type of highlights here because we're travelling back from the ground now. So by the time you watch this, we might have seen some more footage that gives a clearer idea. But first impression is that they've got to the right decision. Maybe they've not got there the right way. But Johnny Williams, we've got no arguments with whether he's. I think he got booked for kicking the ball away, didn't he? Before
holding on to it for too long.
Was it before stopping the free kick? Yeah, before they equalised, and then the second one's a professional foul. So I've got no problem with that at all. And it's one of them. Yeah, like we've already said, not much in the way of goal mouth action in either half. Both goals, you said, Boz, not in keeping with the quality of the game as a whole.
No, they probably deserve to be part of a better game. Ours, a bit of brilliance from Aaron Rowe. He had quite a frustrating game, didn't he?
Yeah, we were just saying, weren't we? We were just saying that nothing was working for him, and then he popped up with the assist.
Literally, I think Sam Gale, he could have let it run out. Sam Gale
really well
finds him. It's a quick flick from Rowe. Travels, I don't know how many yards, slots it through, and Gbode, to be fair, for someone who's not a natural goal scorer, I think he took it really well.
Yeah, we said last week, didn't we, Stocky, on the match day live for the Wimbledon game, that it was a striker's finish, and that's a natural striker's finish as well. First touch across the centre half, so that he can't be fouled, or he can be fouled, and he wins a penalty or a free kick, and then the composure to slot it under. No, he hadn't. About 15 minutes, I think, because Nevitt came off with a knock straight after half time, didn't he? Frustrating thing for us, Stocky, was that we took the lead, and then 65 minutes came up. We took Dacky off. Obviously, we're still, managing his minutes to a degree, even though there is only one more game to go. Hopefully, he'll be able to start that one at Port Vale next week. But then conceded very quickly after, and then there was just a bit of a lack of experience in the team, aside from probably, in terms of age, Johnny Williams and Glenn Morris. That was really it, wasn't it? It was very young apart from that.
Yeah, I mean, it was, first of all, it was a great strike from Will Wright. Normally see him bend them top corner, but he kind of put the laces through, and it's gone the opposite corner to probably what I anticipated it would have been. But yeah, it's a great free kick from him. Don Corness come on as Dacky's replacement. I hadn't seen anything of him before, but I thought he showed a few nifty touches, to be fair. He's quite a slight footballer, but a few good touches, not afraid to get stuck in. Just a shame. I mean, I can't see us taking him on permanent or him coming
No, I think that's his first appearance under Ainsworth, isn't he? And he only got 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
But no,
he was off for Dacky, didn't he?
Yeah, nice little cameo. And then we saw Ethan Coleman come back from long-term injury. He was willing to put himself about and was trying to be progressive with the football. But yeah, in terms of any side looking like winning it, I don't think there was one, was there?
No, it was literally a game of moments, as in the 2 goals and then the bits at the end. That was it. Yeah,
so let's talk about Joe Gbode, because he's come off the bench again. We think he was slightly unlucky to be left out of the 11. He's done all you want him to do as a centre forward. He's done all you want him to do as a substitute, coming on, influencing a football match, scoring a goal. But as I've already said, Stocky, and I'll come to you because you are a referee, he's going to have to learn the hard way, isn't he? Because there's certain things on a football pitch that you can't do, and certainly for the second yellow card, that's one of them.
Yeah, no, definitely he will learn from it. Similar to a few weeks back when we spoke about Sam Gow's mistake. I can't remember who it was against Colchester. Yeah. The goal that we conceded against them. On social media, on Twitter, Sam held his hands up and admitted that he was,
at fault. Yeah, even though he thinks the ball went out. Yeah.
No, you learn from it, and Joe's just got to do the same now. But yeah, it was the right decision for him to go, like I said earlier. But he's going to have to learn from this kind of stuff and not get involved. I think Joe, similar to Sam, they play on the edge at times. There's that aggression there.
There's a fearlessness as well, which you want, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you don't want to take that away from their game.
No.
But at the same time, you also don't.
You just got to channel it at the right moments, haven't you? Yeah.
You don't want it to fall over and then you end up costing the team.
And ultimately, he's ended up costing himself as well, Joe, because chances are
he would have started
next week. He starts. Nev's got a knock. Ollie Hawkins has got broken hand. He'd have been probably the number 9 next week, and now we're going to have a complete reshuffle. Maybe, yeah. I think you'd probably have to go as a front 2, wouldn't you? I think, and unless Hawkins can get. Maybe, yeah. Or like I say, unless Ollie can get a strapping on his hand and play with a broken hand. But that's
before, didn't he?
He's done something. Yeah, he's had a few
in the season.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, played with some sort of support cast on it. But yeah, it was all sort of a funny ending, and it certainly weren't in keeping with the game. There was a few robust challenges, but we didn't expect any of that, did we? In the final 5 minutes. The only thing I will say, I don't know whether someone said something to Joe, because he looked to be really, really angry. It weren't just like, it looked like he was. So, but something might come out in the wash, something might not. But at the end of the day, like we've already said, there's a time and a place, and you just have to learn to channel that aggression in the right ways. And he's done it a lot of times this season. A few times he's picked up silly yellows, but regardless of whether we think the first one is arse, like we've said, once you're on a yellow card, don't give the referee a decision to make. He was voted sponsors man of the match, wasn't he, I think?
Yeah.
Or did I dream that?
No, it was announced at some point, yeah.
Was that before he'd been sent off or just after?
I think it was actually on the full time, after the game had finished, to be honest.
You didn't know when it was finished anyway, it was not.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was a funny one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you would have thought there was 4 additional minutes played, but there was an injury after Joe scored, wasn't there, which lasted a few minutes.
Yeah, I think their keeper went down, didn't he, for a little while?
Yeah.
And then you had all the stuff afterwards as well. But maybe the referee knows the boys have got the end of the season doing that to get ready to go and do their hair and tart themselves up a bit. So yeah, like I say, bit of a strange game to end our home campaign. Who do we think was man of the match, boys?
Wasn't many standouts, I guess.
No one was awful again, were they? But there was no one that like really took the game by the scruff of the neck. I thought Ducky was bright first 15 minutes.
Doesn't really do a lot wrong ever, does he?
I thought the centre backs were decent against Harry Smith, who's the definition of man mountain, isn't he? I mean, he's about 6'8" and he's about 4 foot across as well, absolute solid as well. So fair play to Gail Ogie and Masterson for seeing him off. And I don't remember him having a clear-cut chance, do you?
No,
Which is a you know.
keeper with the rest of the game, though, really. No.
Yeah, it wasn't a game with quality and, you know, constant good deliveries into dangerous areas where Smith would thrive.
Feels like we've been saying this a lot recently in terms of the quality of games and the quality of the opposition, and there's not really much in it. And I think that kind of sums up the league this year, really. There's not been too many teams that have stood out against us. I think even when we were going through
Rubbish games. We barely got thrashed by anyone, did we? Bromley, I remember we getting thrashed. We got thrashed at Barrow under Coleman, but aside from that, most of our defeats have been by a single goal, haven't they?
Yeah.
But,
Teams have come to us either chasing playoffs in the playoffs or, you know, top of the table at the time of the game, and come away and thought, well, you wouldn't have thought that they would.
yeah, we've seen so many, which makes it more frustrating how bad we've been at times. Yeah, because you know, in recent weeks we've taken points off of Swindon, who've been going all right, haven't we? We beat Wimbledon last week, they were in the playoffs. We beat Port Vale earlier in the season when they were top, Notts County when they were top, Barrow when they were top. We've taken 2 points off Walsall. We beat Bradford a month or so back. Went to Chesterfield and Salford, who had playoff aspirations at the time, and took points off of them. And yet we're 17th, and until we cure that goal scoring problem, Boz, we'll continue to be a bottom half team, won't we?
Yeah, and there's no quick solution, I don't think. There's no quick fix.
Not unless you go and chuck silly money at someone. But even then, that's never guaranteed, is it? Because they can pick up an injury or whatever. But
I still think there's a player there with Nevitt. I just think
Yeah, I do.
his strengths.
yeah, and I think he still needs better service, and we need to work out whether he plays in a 2 or if he has to play up front on his own. We've got to find a better way to get people around him. Right, anyway, that is enough from us. As always, thanks for watching and thanks for listening. The support over the weekend and throughout the season has been absolutely superb, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you very much. Please consider hitting that like button. Please keep pressing subscribe. We'll be back middle of next week with a preview ahead of Port Vale, and then myself, Ava and Nick will be at Vale Park to watch us take on, potentially, the new League 2 champions. But let's hope we can throw a spanner in their promotion party. But until then, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll leave Ava with the last 3 words.